Kia ora everyone, welcome to the VUWSA Candidates Forum. I'm Neva and I'm from Salient. And today we're kicking off with Benjamin, who is running for the position of Campaigns Officer.
Kia ora, my name is Benjamin and I'm going for Campaigns Officer, as previously mentioned. The reason I wanted to go for this role specifically was that coming through high school, I sort of always just loved just poking the bear a little bit, just making sure that, we are actually getting a fair shout for what we try to put in. And I was actually kind of disappointed because when I came to university, I wasn't able to just help out straight away in like the ways, in a position of, running for stuff. But when I read Campaigns Officer and it was like, this is a role where, you run campaigns, hold people accountable, all that stuff, I was like, yep, that's a little bit of me. I guess with our policies that I kind of want to do is that I have three sort of main ones that I'm kind of looking to cover. The main one is local body elections. And with local body elections, I feel like it is so important that the people who, we vote into power do the things that we want them to do. And so basically just making sure that students are informed about what candidates are actually going to do for students and who it stands for what. Second thing off basically being the pastoral care system at the university. So many new people coming to university, moving away from home for the first time, they put such trust in the system, and that system needs to be able to do its best to look after them. And the third thing basically is what we all want, what everybody should get is just better public transport in order to make getting around Wellington a lot easier. I know that I'm such a big supporter of free public transport, but such a big thing is just those steps to at least getting the same deal as a high school student, really. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. I'd like to, you mentioned about campaigns, and the campaign part of the role is what drew you to it. So what is a previous campaign that VUWSA has championed that has affected you, and how has it affected you?
Well, being a first year student in this first year of university, one of the main sort of events that I've been trying to get behind, which subsequently I want to follow through, is the free public transport campaign. VUWSA and the previous campaigns officer, Catherine, they did such an amazing job at pushing that event. And I just want to keep that momentum because it's such an issue that faces me personally, because I feel like public transport is such a no-brainer, especially for things like climate change. And it's just, that's something that touches me personally. So definitely the free public transport Wellington campaign.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I'm certainly one who would appreciate free public transport. So in your opinion, what's the biggest barrier to empowerment, do you think, at Victoria, that's preventing students from getting involved in campaigns?
I think when it comes to empowerment, whilst organisations can do their best to encourage and foster a drive within students, the biggest barrier is often one that you tell yourself. And it's thinking that you aren't either good enough or thinking that you can't do it for some reason. And I think that barrier, what VUWSA needs to do is basically be able to engage the student body enough and tell them that they are enough to be able to fight for issues that they stand for, that they shouldn't feel this need against themselves, that they can't feel empowered, whether that be for things such as gender, for things such as race. All these things are such arbitrary differences because at the end of the day, the values that you hold as a person are the things that you're going to take with you and hold the strongest. And we need to be able to encourage that and foster that as an organisation. So, yeah.
And say you are successful in getting this role, in a year's time, when the VUWSA elections come around again, if you were rerunning or if students were looking back at what the exec had done, how would they know that you've made progress on things like the free public transport or getting student voice noticed in the local body elections?
I think the biggest way that students are going to be able to know if I really made a difference is if they can confidently think back to events that I've run, events that I've helped run, events that I have tried to push as far and reach as many people as possible, and just know that they took part of it, even if it is just signing a petition, or even if it is just attending an event in the hub or anything, or even a candidates debate. At least know that they took part in some form of activity, and not even necessarily know that it was me who did it, but VUWSA who encouraged them to get along and come along to these issues. So yeah.
You touched before on something that you brought up a lot in your campaign blurb, and that was pastoral care for students. So why have you targeted future students for better pastoral care instead of all students?
I had that thought as well. I'm obviously a first year student. This first year at Trinity Village has been a lot. Some notable events have happened at the hall this year, which have affected my studies greatly. And I'll look back on them and think, wow, that was quite honestly shit. And I don't think that anyone should have to go through what I went through this year, along with many students at my hall, because not only did it affect their studies, first of all, as students, but their safety as people. And when you are moving away from home for the first time, when you are putting your trust in an organization to take care of you and they can't, and you feel like they aren't keeping you safe, then isn't that what we want? To make sure that people are safe and to make sure that future generations actually have a better experience than us. So,
Yeah, that's a very good point. Hopefully with some of the reforms coming through with student accommodation, we'll be able to help you do a bit more with that. Yeah. I think just finally, if you had a strong personal stance on an issue and you had a very strong feeling about, say an issue came up with that the exec wanted to get the student opinion on, and the student opinion came back in direct opposition to your personal belief, do you think you'd have any problems setting aside that personal belief in order to accurately represent the students?
I mean, VUWSA is the Victoria University Students Association. It is not my job to impose my political beliefs or beliefs on anything if that goes against what the students want, because at the end of the day, this job is for the students. And so, if I had such a strong belief that would go against me, I know that coming and running to have the opportunity to represent the students, that is what I'm here to do, not to impose my own agenda. So.
Okay. And finally, any last message you'd like to give to the student body?
Oh, I've hated COVID, man. I hate COVID. It sucks. And I hope everybody is doing all right, especially people up in Auckland at the moment. It's hard. And this first year for me has been a lot personally. I know it's been a lot for a lot of people, but I really do feel like coming to university, I really do enjoy it, and I just want to give back. I just want to give back more than what I've gotten. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Benjamin. That's Benjamin for the role of Campaigns Officer.